Calling all parents and teachers, it's time to rep KidNuz and check out some partner brands and products we think you're going to love. Since it's an election year, how about a kid's book on voting? Or colorful ideas for a spring refresh of that messy homework desk? Plus, there's always fun KidNuz swag. Moms, dads, guardians, and teachers, go to starglowmedia.com/shop to check it all out. If you're listening on a podcast platform, you can also find the store link in the description for today's episode. And don't forget, subscribe to Starglow Plus to skip the ads on all your favorite Starglow podcasts. Happy listening! Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. It's Thursday, May 16th, 2024. And we begin with what will likely be must-see TV. President Joe Biden and his predecessor, former President Donald Trump, have agreed to square off in an unprecedented early summer debate on Thursday, June 27th. Typically, presidential debates are held closer to the November election, but this one is nearly 5 months prior. Of course, the devil's in the details and anything can happen, but as of now, the face-off is on. It'll be hosted by CNN at its headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia at 9 p.m. Eastern. CNN adds that unlike all presidential debates since 1976, there will be no live audience, per a request from Mr. Biden's team. Mr. Trump has said he wants to follow June's showdown with 3 more, but so far only 1 additional debate has been mutually agreed upon. It'll take place September 10th, hosted by ABC. A late-night host laughed about it, as are many more in the Twitterverse, but those in attendance didn't find it all that funny. Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, is apologizing for butchering the names of its graduates during commencement. The announcer used cue cards with phonetic spelling instead of the names themselves, and the result was a disaster. Molly Elizabeth Camp became Molina Zabeth Cap. Maeve Elizabeth turned into Mavie Lee Zabeth, and Sarah Virginia Brennan's name was pronounced as Sayer Uvun Jengu Brinan. But the kicker was for Thomas Michael Canavari Jr., who somehow ended up as Tamome. As one person posted on X, the college itself is Thomas Jefferson University, and the person calling out the graduates couldn't pronounce Thomas. It's literally the school's name. As Jimmy Fallon noted, the announcer did the impossible. She made the graduation entertaining. There's a new top dog in town. Sage, the miniature poodle with an 80s-style do, won the Best in Show honor at the 148th Annual Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show this week. The 3-year-old from Houston, Texas, beat out over 2,500 entrants. The Best in Show winner gets a trophy and a place in dog history, but no cash prize. College basketball star Caitlin Clark had her professional debut Tuesday night, but her team, the Indiana Fever, lost 92-71 against the Sun in Connecticut. Not surprisingly, the game was a sellout with courtside seats going for over $4,000. Clark was her team's top scorer with 20 points, but also had 10 turnovers. She said after the game, "There's a lot to learn. It's the first one. There's going to be good ones. There's going to be bad ones." A new portrait of King Charles has a lot of people seeing red, literally. The first official painting of Charles as the monarch has a strikingly bright red background, blending in with His Majesty's red uniform of the Welsh Guards. British artist Jonathan Yeo first started working on the piece 3 years ago when Charles was still the Prince of Wales. So that's why the artist says he added a butterfly over the king's shoulder to symbolize his transformation. The royals seem pleased with the painting, but public reaction has been mixed. Some commented that it was a nice break from tradition, while others weren't so accepting. "Stick a pair of horns on him," one noted, "and it looks like he's from the underworld." The portrait is on display for 1 month, starting today in London's Drapers Hall. And an epic sleepover that hit all the right notes. In the city of Rome, there's widespread concern in the art world that music education is a very low priority in schools. So the city's opera house is inviting kids to spend the night inside the theater and experience live music, many for the first time. As part of the adventure, about 130 kids recently took part in a treasure hunt, designed costumes, sang in the choir, and played an opera-themed version of Snakes and Ladders before camping in sleeping bags backstage. One dad told the New York Times that between video games, cell phones, and Netflix, there's tough competition to get kids interested in beautiful things. But after the recent sleepover, all the kids responded with a loud yes when asked if they had fun, and they were all invited to come back again soon. Still to come, the competition is heating up for the fastest computer in the world. But first, today's KidNuz quiz. When will President Biden and former President Trump hold their first debate? June 27th. An announcer at which school made a mess of graduates' names? Thomas Jefferson in Philadelphia. What Italian city is hosting a sleepover for kids in the Opera House? Rome. What's the main color in the first official portrait of King Charles? Red. In our KidNuz Kicker, the world's fastest supercomputer has some serious competition. Oak Ridge National Lab's Frontier is still ranked number 1 in the semi-annual list of most powerful computer systems, but it's no longer the only exascale machine, which means it can do over a quintillion calculations per second. The Aurora supercomputer from the Argonne Leadership Facility has also crossed that threshold. This computing power is said to be comparable to the human brain and can work on complex situations like climate, artificial intelligence, and molecular-level medicine. Before we go, a big KidNuz shout-out to some of our terrific teachers, Mrs. McCall and her Cougars at John Baldwin in Danville, California, Ms. Williams at Hale Cook in Kansas City, Missouri, and Mrs. McIntyre and her Jaguars at Arredondo in Richmond, Texas. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to arrange for a personalized shout-out for a birthday, graduation, or thanks for a great school year, please consider a quiz sponsorship that will help make someone's day and help support your favorite news podcast for kids. For more information, go to our website, kidnuz.org. We hope you tune in for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.